Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you have grabbed your coffees and now charged up, right? We have heard a lot about FAST and CTV. Let's decode it today. Okay, this is a very hot topic nowadays, and center of stage what we are talking right now. So before starting the session, for the context, let's look back how the TV evolution has happened from last 5 decades in India. 1980s, it was dominated by Doordarshan, which was government-driven only source of content as of now. 1990s, liberalization happened, cable TV boom happened, and many private channels exploded, right? Like Star, G, Sony. Coming to 2000s, satellite TV came, and the subscription-led business model evolved. 2010, again, the big disruption happened, that is the digital evolution, and the OTT era started. So the learning is every decade TV is transforming itself. Now coming to the current decade, which is 2020s, we are seeing disruption happening on TV side also. The next disruption is related to connected TVs and FAST, which is completely streaming driven, and the FAST, which is completely free for users right now. So why it is happening? Why there's a need of streaming on connected TV? So I found 2 or 3 drivers for that. One is obviously the accessibility. As soon as the high-speed internet explaining on multiple geographies, the connected TV need is increasing. Second, the affordability. TVs are getting bigger as well as it is going cheap in cost. The third growth driver is the user attention. User attention is going down because they want more and more content but in lesser time. So that kind of personalized recommended content consumption is required on TVs also. So this entire growth drivers is leading the TV platform. And why I firmly believe this connected TV and FAST will drive this decade, because we have seen too many industry data also that how this CTV penetration growing forward. Before 2020s, the connected TV penetration in Indian household, it was less than 5%. Coming today, it has reached up to 15%, and it is expected by end of this decade, it may surpass 35% of penetration. It's growing significantly, and we can say the 3 cohorts or 3 segments of TVs are being built. Top funnel is connected TV, the streaming TV. Second, there will be a coexistence of pay TV, and the third, obviously, the free TV part. With that background, now let's deep dive more on FAST, and a general question to entire panel. From your lens, we have a very fantastic panel from multiple domains. We have domains from tech, we have domains from content, we have domains from monetization, and the platform itself. So the open question for you, how do you see fast growth in India from your lens, from your domain lens? Starting with you.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Indian Television, for having me. So when we talk about the evolution of FAST, as someone who is very closely involved in this rise of FAST ecosystem, because I remember when I joined media industry, it was somewhere around 2021, and that is when Samsung also launched FAST in India. So I do not see it as a trend, rather I see it as a reflection of how media industry is restructuring itself. And at Skandha Media Services, we feel that, one day it's about content management, another day it's about distribution. But somewhere in between, everybody is trying to figure out how to make money without annoying the end user. So yeah, jokes apart, FAST is real, FAST is lean, and FAST is actually growing very fast. If I have to talk from the data perspective, GroupM this new year report says that there are somewhere around 250 plus FAST channels right now in India, which is projected to be somewhere around 1,000 plus in the next 3 years, which is more than 33% year-on-year growth. Also from the connected TV perspective, Samsung TV and the others, by the end of 2024, there were somewhere around 45 million connected TV set, which is projected to be around 60 million by end of this year. So content owners are coming more into the fast ecosystem, platforms are coming more into the fast ecosystem, and at the same time, what is happening that connected TVs are also sold more. So from all the ecosystem stakeholder, I feel that fast is actually growing. Thank you.
So if we talk about from a fast perspective and talking about India market only, because India is very, very unique compared to any other market in the world. And if you look at fast, it is solving a big problem that exists in the media market. The first one is the clutter. And when I talk about clutter, clutter is not only OTT platform, it is OTT, social media, everything. One is clutter, the second is the accessibility, and accessibility in terms of devices where the content can be consumed. Third one is the affordability aspect of it. So fast in many senses are addressing all these aspects of accessibility, clutter, affordability, and reducing the cognitive overload on the user when they're consuming the content. Switching on the digital platform, thousands of posters thrown at them, they require to decide what I need to watch. Until they know that I have come here for a Patalok or for a Sacred Games, it's a big, big cognitive overload. So keeping that in mind, fast is the very, very right solution for a market like India. Having said that, India is big enough, diverse enough that there is a coexistence for all kind of a platform, paid platform, OTT platform, linear TV, cable, everything is going to continue for a long, long time. But fast is, while in evolution stage, but fast is going to grow very, very fast. It is the future, it is going to be very, very big in the next decade. That's what we are looking at, and that's the reason we have launched it.
So, I would say fast is the FTA of streaming world. Because the way, because it's largely the free ad supported content which is coming to, but it's a broadcast quality, premium content which is going to subscribers at free of cost. And the pace at which is growing. Now, I think we heard it in the previous panel also, and like Anil was also mentioning, 3 years back, there were hardly 30-40 fast channels in the country. Today we are talking more than 200 plus channels, right? That's all happened in the phase of 3 years. And Vivek, when we were discussing just before the session, he was saying it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? Because the users, there's already a sync between the tech and the supply content already. It's only that the users has to see how they get accustomed to the way they consume more on fast, which is going to unlock this entire space. And most importantly, India is still the second largest TV market globally. And we are not a 100% penetrated market. We are still 100 million households which doesn't have access to TV. I think we heard that in the previous panel also in markets like Bihar and Jharkhand, where there is still a lot more penetration is expected. So I think the way this equation works is that as long as there is content, consumers are going to come to it. It's only there how do you go to create an affinity towards that content and stick around it.
Would you like to add some your global experiences also, how other markets have evolved in fast?
So globally fast is already outphased, I would say, like US, almost 2/3 of the market is consuming fast already, or that's almost 65-66% is already streaming on fast. But that's not the case in India, it's in a very nascent stage, but that's how it is, right? We always adopt West, probably in the next 2 years, 3 years, I think. But the way the ecosystem is functioning right now, how the OEM integrations, fast channels integrations is happening on OEM is a very, very important equation. How we have a stable internet connection, a robust internet connection is actually important. And then the habit, like, okay, I don't need to I cannot flip channels anymore. I need to continue consuming the content which is there for a while. And it's an ad cluttered environment currently. So that involves a lot of stickiness to the content which you're consuming. And the time spent also increases gradually on that, right? So I think gradually advertisers also understand this and they're relooking the way they are including fast in the media mix.
What about in there? From content space?
Yeah, so I think it can't be a better place for a content owner to be at this point in time. I think for us, Fast as an ecosystem is something that is very exciting. It's one of the one more avenue to basically monetize the content. I think this is something that is going to go a long way as far as consumption of content is concerned. And like you rightly mentioned, that the penetration of how smart television is going to go up to 35%, in next decade or so. We will see a lot of lean back experience content consumption also. I think today there's so much of content that is available, so it becomes very difficult for the audiences also to understand what kind of content they want to watch. So I think so from a content owner point of view, I think for us it's something that is very exciting time. It's one more avenue to monetize the content, and it's just like everyone mentioned, just not even tip of the iceberg. I think we still not even scratch the surface. So it will still take some time, I feel, from a consumption and from an audience, awareness also from that point of view, because today a lot of people still don't know, there is an ecosystem that is, I think it's more of an industry related, the way things are going. But I think the more educated the consumer becomes, I think we will see more and more consumption of content, on the fast space going to go up. So I think we are very bullish on the fast space.
Venu, you're in.
Hi. Yes, that's a lot of, sorry, Venu, Planetcast. I have a sort of we are technology enablers to this whole phenomena. And I have a sort of mixed response to this question. The first thing is, it is, like I said earlier, there is no debate, it's here, deal with it, all right? So, there are several challenges that it does bring for content owners. It's to figure out what our fast strategy is going to be, whether we use the same, how do we go different, how do we differentiate that versus something that's already getting paid for on either linear cable or OTT. So that's on one side. And I think on the platform side, it's really about, like you said, there was already so much content, now there's more. So how do we facilitate the discovery of this content in a meaningful manner? I think that's probably what Vivek and team will be working on. And we have all of these issues to kind of iron out. Do we have the luxury of waiting out and figuring this out? I don't think so. I think it's all, much like most of the streaming revolution, nobody asked us. It's here. It's landed on our plate and we've got to deal with it, right? You would have wanted to take a little more time to figure this out, but no, it's not. So, like, my sense is, as technology enablers, we are in the middle. We don't influence either side. We are not the source. Neither are we the destination where people consume. We are here merely to enable, the journey of the source to the experience of the destination. But all we can say is, our role is really to try and figure out the optimization of this technology to the extent that it makes commercial meaning for the source and the destination. Because today that's definitely a challenge. I'm sure we'll talk more about this, but yeah, we see that as our role. How do we enable this whole, medium and journey in a meaningful manner?
Yes, the monetization, definitely. So let's start with the more understanding how the audience is behaving like a fast. They know about fast, how they are using, because is it treated as one more app on TVs, right? Like YouTube, Netflix, which is again one more app. So Manish, coming to you, what's your learning about audience specific, right?
So when we talk about audiences, see, audience is unaware about what fast is. So majority of the audience won't even know what fast is, or it is related to an OTT. For them, they see something and then they come onto the platform. For them, it is still an OTT.
Yeah.
So what we are seeing is that when users come onto the platform, I'm talking about Runn TV, but that will hold for any fast platform, any OEM fast platform. So what is happening is that the way user in this shift discovered how OTT is different from TV. Currently, the users are still discovering what fast channel concept is. It is similar to TV, but they're not seeing it as a different concept or a different, seeing it as a fast. They're seeing, okay, it's an OTT platform, but a different concept. But again, as I said, because of the heterogeneity that we have in India from a user base perspective, there will always be a portion of user that will say that, okay, I want everything on demand. Channel, linear, fast channel doesn't work for me. They will just go away. And there will be users who will find it more convenient that they can watch content at a flip of a channel. They have so many choices. And in the conversations that we are having with our users, the feedback, the calls that we do to our users and all, the common thematic that we see, right? I'll give you an example. They will say that, okay, this is a platform where we can just switch the channels, news channels, right? We don't have to log out of an application or go back, do some 4-5 taps or clicks, and then we go there, right? So they are finding it convenient. That's one. Second is they are also able to discover new categories, new content. Somebody who has not been used to go to YouTube, they have disconnected their DTH. They don't go to YouTube, for example, or even if they go there, they go with a very targeted search and all, right? They have not experienced, let's say, short films or a stand-up comedy. How do they know something exists, but how do you serve them? How do you make it discoverable? Create short film content from providers like Pocket Films, Terribly Tiny Tales, right? It's there on YouTube, but how do users discover? So what Fast is going to do, and that is the feedback that we get a good channel like Before You Movies and NH Bollyflix and all as well, but then we also get Pocket Films, Terribly Tiny Tales, those kind of hidden gems as well. So to summarize, two aspects emerging from the feedback that we are getting from the users. It is super convenient, and the best part is it is free. That's one theme. And the second theme is that I'm getting options that I'll not have to think of. Right? You are serving something on my plate. I may not eat it, but then you are discovering that I'm not eating it. You just remove it from my recommendation, from my channel list and all. So, in short, majority of them are liking the concept and they're accepting the concept.
And to talk about more the user stickiness parts, one is finding it easy to discover. Is there any differentiated content mix which you are trying at your platform, or any differentiated programming you are trying on your platform, so that users should find it different than other OTTs? Is there any learning on that?
Yeah, so two dimensions there as well. So one dimension is the content itself. What kind of a content we will bring in. So to give an example, I spoke about short films. We also launched India's first 24/7 stand-up comedy channel in partnership with OML. Now we are also working, again we are also working on bringing in a storytelling kind of a channel. We are also working on bringing in a poetry channel. Now these content also, these are going to be high quality content. So one is categories that we are adding, which are not easily available on any streaming platform or on TV, of course. It's there on YouTube, but again, among the lot of clutter, right? Somebody has to find it, search it. That's one dimension. And the second dimension is that for a user, it doesn't matter whether you have a 100 channel or 500 channel. And that is something we are very cautious about. We don't want to play the volume game as a platform. If we have 50 channels, we know that for a given user, they will never have a more than 15 channels relevant for them. Never more than 15 channels, right? So for us, whatever consumption pattern the user has, if they're not liking something, we will not keep serving it. So for us, personalization is going to be key, and clustering the similar users and knowing what they will like, what they will watch, and restricting to it. We don't want to bombard them and again become 100 channels being thrown at them, and they have to figure out, okay, what will I watch? So that's the two theme that we are seeing, and that's how we are driving this together.
So essentially, it's a free but with premium content experience.
Free, premium, and really personalized. And I know Netflix, YouTube's of the world doing great job. They will have 100 times better personalization, right? But the challenge that they have, despite those challenges, they are doing wonderfully well. But the challenge they have is they have so many dimensions, so many parameters, right? They have hundreds and thousands of content. They are doing personalization on the basis of those metadata. What I need to do is, we have, let's say, 100 channels. I know that all these are thematic channels. So for me, the personalization becomes very, very easy. Why? Because our dimensions of personalization is very, very less. And that makes it more effective, more targeted, and more friendly for users.
Perfect. So we learned about user need free content, but the premium experience and the content experience. So Inder, coming to you from content side, how do you is doing some content strategy fit for multiple distribution, right? You are distributing similar content to linear, OTT, YouTube, now fast also. Are you following any differentiation content strategy on each platforms?
So I tell you right now, it is still a discovery phase. Okay, right now the strategy that we are adopting is more of repurposing of the content and the genres that we have seen. They are more or less universal, right? We've seen that kind of content from a genre point of view, be it movies or series. These are the kind of genres which do extremely well.
Right.
So I think we are right now going with the low-hanging fruits, where the kind of genres that we've seen, like I said, movies and series. So right now we are repurposing those and making them, especially curated content experiences because, be it other platforms like YouTube and other platforms, there is a lot of platforms where content is available, but there is no curated experience as such. So in Fast as an ecosystem, what we are really doing is that we are trying to curate, special interest content, and we are also moving towards single IP channels, which essentially means that there is one genre that, for example, we're working on channels which is either crime or or different categories, and we are trying to focus on those niche content pieces and trying to promote on that. But right now, I think it is still more repurposing of the content which is already available on each of these channels.
Yeah, obviously the economics suggests it's a content is a cost, right? So you have to save cost also
Absolutely.
and find more distribution.
Absolutely. So I think for us right now it's more of distribution and like we all discussed that it's more of also educating the consumer that this is the kind of content that is also coming out. So it's still trial and error, but the kind of genres that we are trying to stick to that and also improvising on the kind of traction that you're getting on each of these, right? And how do you change your FPC? How do you change your programming? So a lot of data is being being studied and then try to make things work accordingly. But it's still in a nascent stage, so we are trying to experiment more on it.
So coming to the type of content, right? Be it it's a national content, a standard genres like GEC, movies. What do you think? Which kind of genre will excite more for these differentiated fast streaming users?
So I think entertainment is for one we at Shemaroo, we have one of the largest catalog. Like for us, entertainment is the go-to category that we are right now focusing on. And in entertainment also, like I said, GEC content, our series content and movies, these are the kind of categories that do extremely well. And we are also distributing a lot of our channels in in markets like US, in Australia, in Middle East we are launching very soon, channels we're launching there as well. So movies and series are something that goes by default. I mean, these are the most consumed content because we're also working on niche genres. Like for example, we have a very popular Shemaroo Gujarati channel which is available on Sling in the US. And again, looking at the diaspora. So we're also trying to think where the audiences are and what kind of content can we make available for them. In Middle East, we are now localizing a lot of our content in Arabic and all of that in those languages. So kind of making content available, in the language and in the market which the audiences are consuming content. But coming back to your question, entertainment is something that, and in entertainment, movies and series are these two genres which does extremely well for us.
Great. So now content strategy is done, user preferences is done. Now it's the delivery time, right? Content should be delivered in live streaming format. And we have diverse geography of India, right? Multiple internet bandwidth related issues. So how do you see, is there any challenge you have faced delivering these fast platforms?
Quick answer to that, given that we are in the top, connected TV as a phenomenon is mostly in the top, has been in the top 25 to 30, now going up to 40 million homes. The connectivity has been less of a challenge. It's not so much, but I think where I would broad base that question to say, okay, so what exactly is the problem that tech is solving as far as fast is concerned? I think there is a very real ROI problem on fast today, and it will get sorted over time as these things do. But the challenge today is between the realization in a market like India as compared to, let's say, whatever. I mean, I was told $5 CPM today by someone, so Good luck to you guys. But assuming something in the region of $3 and then compare that to a Western market benchmark of anywhere between $12 to $18, the reality is very different. And this is nothing new. We've seen this in cable TV, it's a low ARPU market, we know that. I mean, there are several examples of this around, right? But the costs that come in today to deliver, at least till, let's say, as of a couple of years ago, were a challenge. For people to actually have, let's say, content owners to have a meaningful content, differentiated content strategy that they can then viably deliver to a platform where your CPMs are in that range was the challenge. And I think we still are focused on solving that challenge for the content owners. How do I optimize the delivery to a point where it is meaningful for a content owner to deliver? So that's really the tech aspect that we and there's been huge progress that's been made on that front. The costs have crashed well below the halfway mark now than what it used to be. So it's far more viable. The challenge then remains, on the content sourcing and strategy side, and then of course how the destination, how the game plays out at the destination end. I mean, will the CPMs be improved? It's the prosperity is growing, the audience buying power is increasing, so will we have better CPMs? Those are questions I'm sure you will be best placed to answer. But yeah, in the middle, we try and make sure that the cost of delivery is constantly being optimized, like I said, dropping it to less than half and now probably even more so. So that's really our role.
And how do you see your partners' interest in FAST, like broadcasters? Are they ready to adopt FAST?
Okay, we should go around the table and definitely check with Manish and Iyengar on this. I'll give you our side of the take, and we want that interest to be there so that we can, deliver and write up a little more business. But they're taking very cautious steps, and rightly so. No one's making original content for FAST, as we discussed, right? I think it's way too early for that to happen. In a scenario like that, when you don't have original content, what exactly is it that I play with? There are lots of international examples, one would wonder. Like for instance, I wonder why we don't have a gardening channel. I wonder why, there are special interest, content that you could try. And a digital platform is where you can obviously try this out and figure out the traction. But I would say to a great extent, it's been cautious, the approach. People are not jumping, content owners, at least from what we can see, are not just jumping onto the bandwagon yet, but they're taking cautious steps like you would know. The other thing to note is that I think Manish has also belabored. For the customer, it doesn't matter. Fast hai kya hai? It's content coming on my TV channel, right? So they haven't made that distinction. The other big point of difference is the push factor that existed in a market like the US, which is really where it is a success story of $100 plus TV subscription to a $18 OTT subscription to free, right? Yeah. There is a tremendous amount of push that's created by that pressure. Here it's still $250. Okay, so the push factor for when somebody says free, अच्छा कितना 200 रुपए बचेगा, ठीक है? So it's significantly less. It's still valuable. The word free is still valuable, but that pressure is significantly lesser. So the adoption also has been cautious. It's been very muted from the audience side. It has now hit some sort of a threshold level with 40 million, and we are seeing that. And now probably we are poised to take that jump. And we'll see far more interesting content strategies and variations emerge, which will really spur the whole consumption story, right? We are waiting for that. We're in the middle, like I said.
From a content owner point of view, the moment excitement will come, the moment monetization takes in. So I think we're all waiting for that.
Jo bikega wo dikhega, school of thought.
So coming to Skandha, you are also managing the tech back-end part of the FAST. So how do you see this new space? Are you finding this challenging in terms of technology delivery? Are your partners ready to jump in to try out more from differentiated content perspective? How do you see this space evolving?
So at Skandha, we are not just seeing this as an opportunity, but as a paradigm shift in how the content is being created, monetized and distributed. So basically there are three layers to it. The very first layer is end-to-end content workflow management. So the very first category of content owner is the tier 1 broadcasters who already have the content. They are utilizing it in the traditional distribution, and they are very flexible, to accepting the cloud workflow, and at the same time, they are just redistributing their content to the fast ecosystem. But there are a few challenges that we see. Just take example of, let's say, there is a series which is very famous. Take example, I'm just taking any random example, Laptaganj, which was very favorite to me. But the problem can be, 10 years back it was a standard definition content, and at the same time 4:3 specification. But right now the delivery specification is 16:9. If I take example of Samsung TV Plus, so the upscaling and changing the specification from 4:3 to 16:9, a lot of cost elements are also involved, and they are very much reluctant, whether to utilize that cost or not. This is where partners like we come into picture, where we are not just cost optimized, but we have solutions which can provide such services at very optimized and low cost. So that is one sort of, I'm just giving you one example. Another example can be tier 1 broadcaster, I already talked about. Another category of content owners are the niche one, the long tail content. Let's say today everybody is a content creator. So I'll just take example that today, few days back, I closed a deal where the content owner had just 120 hours of content. It was a mythological content, 2 series, 60 hours, and they just wanted to be on fast platform, but they are not technologically ready to create that play out or transcoding their content, because there are 1,000 platforms and there are more than 10 types of transcoding for different platforms. You take HLS output, there are certain platforms who take SRT output, there are certain platforms, DAS and all sort of outputs are also there. So there is another cost and tech element attached as well, where the new content owners are not technically ready. This is where again we come into picture, and we provide such end-to-end content workflow. And the third problem that we see is the scalability. So let's say you are doing good as a content owner, but again, taking example of Shemaroo that I was discussing with Inder as well. So few years back in 2021, what happened then, I happened to message someone on LinkedIn who was in Shemaroo that, this is a new concept, fast, and do you want to get on a call and try to understand what fast is? He got on a call, eventually we closed one deal, and later on it became 9 more deals, 9 more channels, so eventually 10 channels. So I believe that yes, if provided the services, there are multiple service providers in the market as well. So the thing is that they have the content, but they are not technically very ready, and challenges I feel I already gave you. So I think yes, definitely challenges can be sorted out as well.
Yeah, understood. So there are technical challenges. Broadcasters are hesitant to try it more. Whatever we have, we are repurposing it, right? As of now, because that is the base building, right? So like I said, this decade, half time is the base building, and next 5 years would be the growth part. So base is built for fast. The challenge is mainly what we are hearing right now is the monetization part, right? How much money, when advertiser is ready or not, are they ready to explore more fast as a different category, or they are still seeing this platform as another digital platform and just trying like that? So what is your learning, Rajiv, about this advertiser community?
So, see, from an advertiser lens, they are not behind any medium, they are behind the audience, right? That's the pure essence of planning. So today in GroupM, I can say we have gone beyond the cross-screen planning because we are like Fast has actually opened up another window within the same screen. So it's like multi-touch point planning now, right? So within television, you have linear connected as two equations. I'll give you an example. Today, let's say if you want to watch IPL, you have three touch points, right? You have your linear feed that's again split into SDHD. Then you have your mobile handheld, and then you have your connected TV. For advertisers, how seamlessly or how can I integrate the entire journey, right? And the fragmentation is there, which is eventually happened across the screens. So we are thinking, how do you create a multi-touch point attribution in planning stage itself? So in that essence, if I see, I'm looking for a seamless journey of the consumer across the content. And hence, if I want to see that if linear and CTV has to coexist as a complementary, then there should be some parallel in the content as well, right? So obviously, as you said, broadcasters opening up on more on Fast, it actually will help us to create that seamless journey together. And like Inderpal was mentioning about, the affinity remains the same. It's the GEC where there is a maximum affinity which all the advertisers wants to lay their hands on, followed by sports and your news and movies and kids. So the affinity of the genre remains the same. How do we unlock them is primarily from a planning scenario, right? So what we primarily do is that there are two attribution model which we typically think advertisers latch onto. One is it effective enough when I add Fast? The answer is definitely yes. Why? Because it's actually giving me more precise audience segmentation. It's actually giving me more audience signals. It's actually giving me a hyper local way, or at least giving me sharper targeting, right? So effectiveness is there. But efficiency builds when there is more scale, right? So as you said, there is more and more supply which will get unlocked. That's the unlock which will happen here, which gets seamlessly planned across multiple screens. So just to answer in cut short, it's a gradual adoption from the advertisers, and there is definitely a lack of education there in terms of, as you were saying, that as a consumer, it doesn't matter whether it's Fast or anything, it's the ecosystem. Similarly, for the advertiser, it doesn't matter it's across any of these streams. Am I reaching to these audiences is what matters. So that simulation is something which we are really working on, and we can see that adoption happening slowly. Even though even now, today there is lack of measurement to create a unification across these, right? So I think we may not even have a unified measurement in our country, maybe. We will, like there are advanced markets like even UK and Australia, which lives on dual measurement policy, right? So Malaysia has that as the neighboring country. So I don't think we should even wait for a unified measurement resource coming in from any angle. I think that's how the journey is going to be. There's more and more wall gardens coming in our country, so then obviously we'll have to look at multi-attribution measurement as well. So that's something which we are trying to educate our clients, also saying that yes, we'll have to look at data modeling, we'll have to look at consumer journey, as you're saying that today a very interesting insight which we saw that is that you mentioned about content discovery. An average, this was 6 months old data, an average 11 to 12 minutes is spent by a household just for content discovery. Now imagine, you are spending 11 to 12 minutes to stick on to a content before, and there are dropouts also, you may not even consume after that. After 12, 15 minutes, you're bored and probably you'll switch off, right? So how you will create those recommendations, as mentioned by Manish, is that how do you create those kind of recommendations? It's not more and more content. How do you create a habit? Experience and a habit for consumers is what matters.
For user stickiness.
Exactly.
Definitely. So, but for advertisers, definitely from a unidirectional TV to bidirectional TV, there's a benefit of targeting and the data. Are this seeing this as a differentiated platform or ready for utilize it more in future compared to traditional TV?
Yeah, so there are two ways to unlock an addressable TV in that perspective, I would say. One is with the efficiency, with the effectiveness of where you can do sharper segmentation, And that is where the digital ability of fast comes into the play. The other aspect is that when you see, if I need to add that the way of traditional way of planning, right? I was just telling Venu just before this session that how do we create a habit where we buy on SD, HD, and now connected TV as a feed, right? So it's an experience on the big screen for the advertiser. It's like the 2-3 different stream of audiences have come in, right? That's how we'll have to kind of move ahead to kind of unlock more and more opportunity around. And another aspect is that there is a lot more retail clients which is seeing the benefit of fast channels coming in, because they're seeing a national presence, which earlier they were limited to only a certain regional markets, but they are on the national platform through a national presence, but they can also limit to certain geographies. So we are seeing new age clients and a lot of retail clients coming to this platform. So that's a new unlock, right? So it's not only your national brands, it's also your local brands equally coming across.
So got it. On that note, we are time's up. So to summarize all our discussion, fast is there. Like when you said, there is no buzzword now, right? It's there and it will sustain, it will prevail, right? There are challenges. Obviously, content has to be personalized, localized, and curated for fast users. There are challenges from tech. When partners are ready, that challenges will go on. But the bigger part is the advertising money that is going to flow in coming years, as well as the reach will increase and targeting will increase. With that note, we will close this session. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.